Good evening, Manchester United fans. Plenty of news to talk about tonight, but first, as always, Yes. Good evening. I don't know what's happening here. It seems like we've got two streams for you beautiful people. It doesn't seem to be. I think a few of you are on the other one. Anyway, look, we'll sort it out. Look, there's plenty to talk about tonight. Manchester United, as we know, apparently up for sale again. Up for sale again. How does that make sense? Andy, I don't think they're on here, mate. They're on the other one. I don't know why that's happened, but I'm sure we'll find out in a second. But anyway, yes. Manchester United up for sale. There has been loads of developments. Now you could, I know Anthony. Anthony's just come in and said, didn't know which stream to watch. Fucking hell. Let me just send a message because there's a few people. Guys, go over to the other stream. I don't know why that's happened. Unbelievable. Let's see. Is Andy, are you still on this one? Andy? Look, people will follow over regardless. Right, so, yes, Manchester United, load of things happening, things that I don't think we even knew about, to be honest, when it comes to the world of football and the world of agreements, but look, we'll go through it. So yesterday, Manchester United crept back onto the market. And when I say back onto the market, I mean they went on to, I don't know where they are, Wahaha. Whoa, Wahaha's over here. It is now in a state called drag-alongs. Now, the purpose is simple. I had to get this from Mike Keegan because Mike Keegan dropped this at around about 8:30 this morning, and it sent everybody doolally. Now, let me explain it to you. So the purpose is simple. Drag-alongs or come-alongs or bring-alongs exist to make it easier for a company to be sold by preventing situations in which a minority shareholder, which in this position is Sir Jim, can block a deal that those who hold the majority want to go through. Now, when I saw this news, I went, shit, here we go again. And that's one swear word I'm doing tonight. I'm not doing any more. I thought, here we go again. It's all started again. But Manchester United, essentially, whether we like it or whether we get excited for it, are essentially back on the market. Now, we look at that and we go, brilliant, Sheikh Jassim, whoever, come and get us away from this mess with the Glazers. And on the outside of it, you go, well, that's it now. We've got everything we've wanted. We've been moaning about the Glazers. We've been moaning about the fact that Sir Jim doesn't seem to care and he's sacking everyone. Guys, this isn't a time to get excited, and I'm going to explain to you why. Before I do, let me say hello to a few people. Good to see you, Anthony. Evening, Mustafa. Yeah, honestly, I don't know why it's set up two streams. It's bizarre. I did it on my phone this afternoon. What a joke. Bruh, I saw your message. I'll reply to you in a minute. Subra, hope you're well. Good evening, Andreas. And, of course, Kev the Legend. I hope you are doing well. I don't know if the other lads have gone on to the other stream. Wahaha has put it in there. Don't know what's happened there. It's just one of them, isn't it? Anyway, so with more information, right? So the deal was such that a clause would come into play 18 months after completion of Ratcliffe's investment. Now, it's added that should they wish, the Glazers could not only sell their stake, but they could force the petrochemicals billionaire to do likewise with his. There's two ways of looking at this. You can look at this and get excited, or you can look at it for what it is. And what it is simple. This won't happen anytime soon. It would take an absolutely ridiculous bid to make the Glazers want to sell Manchester United. So much, in fact, that Sir Jim was actually noted as saying, I just don't think we're going to be taking the legal agreements out of the bottom drawer. The 72-year-old is very confident. In fact, he's literally put, I just hope they gather dust and we never see him, which it should be. It should be on the basis of a relationship. Now, the Glazers and Ratcliffe, let's not forget, they get on extremely well. I don't know. I'm going to try and delete that stream, but I don't know why it's doing it. Let me have a look. Can I delete that stream? Let me have a look. Because I don't want people on there thinking, where the bloody hell is he? I can't seem to delete it. If I go to channel content, maybe. Live. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think I can here. I've got 6 likes on that. 6 likes on that, and there's no fucker on it. Delete forever. Right, let's delete that. I understand, and it's deleted. There you go, guys. It's gone. That one is gone forever. It's gone forever. Hope you've all joined over to this one. So, and Anthony says it's waffle, and we'll go into that in a second. Now, Ratcliffe, as I said, gets on with the Glazers. Now, there has been so many bits here where we know he's been to America. He's had meeting after meeting after meeting. I kind of feel like it would take a stupid bid. I saw some news today that maybe even Saudi Arabia would get bored at Newcastle and decide to come in and try and buy United. Ben Jacobs, to be fair to him, completely dispelled this a few months ago, where he said they're happy with Newcastle. There is no concerns that they'd ever walk away from Newcastle. So when I see this coming out today, and it really saddens me, this is what happens with Manchester United fans, unfortunately, because we still feel like we're in the worst scenario possible at the moment. You then see all of the tweets. Come and get us, please, Sheikh Jassim. Please, 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 save this club. They ain't going anywhere, folks. The Glazers, you've got to remember, for the first time since taking over Manchester United, are in a sweet spot. They're in a sweet spot because what they're doing is they now have that buffer in front of them that is Ineos. Ineos now take all of the flack, all of the rubbish, all of the anger from fans. They take the lot. The Glazers now are straight up chilling. They are straight up chilling. So, whereas I would like to sit here and tell you that we can get excited and we can start drinking from the bottle, and you know when things are good, I get this bottle and I go, we're drinking good. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. To be fair to Goldbridge, you know I'm not his biggest fan, but Goldbridge did a very good video today on United Stand where he just dispelled a lot of it, and he was right to do so. So what I want to ask you guys, how much do you think it would take for the Glazers to even look at getting rid of United? Because now, for me, with the talk of a new stadium coming back into, it would take, I think, 12, 13, 14 billion once this stadium is done. The Glazers know once this stadium gets built, it's going to be more revenue. You're going to be able to do more things with the ground. You're going to see pop concerts there. You're going to see events there galore. So I don't see this happening. And actually, what I think, if I'm being honest with you, Mike Keegan should have just left this well alone, because it's clickbait. It is clickbait. That's why I put a question mark on my one saying for sale, not exclamation mark, because I think it's the perfect time to come on here and tell you guys, don't get excited. Now, we do have other things to get excited about. There is bits and pieces coming through about Rasmus. There's some on Stiller from Stuttgart, which I think is great news. Anana, there's bits and pieces, and Sancho and Garnacho, of course. So, whereas we could spend the next 20 minutes, half an hour talking about the potential sale of Manchester United, I don't want you guys to get excited for that. I think it's important that as Manchester United fans, we've got a big season ahead of us. We need to have all our focus now on the players. We need to have our focus now on our manager. We need to have focus on getting ourselves back into European football. News articles like that are going to do absolutely nothing for us. Let's go through some of these comments. I don't want to look like I'm forgetting. Yeah, I did have you on an Easter egg. Sorry, Mark. I don't know what happened there. I set the stream up this evening, and it didn't load the first time, so I clicked it again anyway. You got here in the end, which is all I care about. And make sure you are liking and subscribing the video, guys. Lots to talk about tonight. David says, don't rely on the fake shake this time around. Do you know something, David? You make a good point here. We never saw this bloke the first time round. Like, I remember, as much as I've just praised Goldbridge, Jesus Christ, Goldbridge was begging you. And also, as I said last night, it's so funny that this story broke after I was ranting about Rio last night. We all remember the infamous Rio coming on and saying, tomorrow, Tuesday, something's happening. So it's just waffle. And as Andy says, it is just waffle and pointless news. If nobody had the funds to buy out before Jim, then no way has the money now. I presume the club is worth more. Well, the club is worth more. Bizarrely, the club is worth more, which I don't understand. And David says, our owners have taken a stance against the transfers with United after the Ashraf saga, so no way they'll buy him. Jar reckons 10 billion to buy Manchester United. Spandau Ballet sells out the new United Stadium. I love that. Howson mentioned around 10 bill. Yeah, I saw that with Steve Howson, Andreas. I just don't see it. I don't see it. Mozza. Evening, Ben, and good to see you all. And it's me, Everest. Big up, like the stream and sub if you are new. Yes, make sure you do. Now then, Rasmus Hojlund news. The Rasmus one seems to be taking loads of twists and turns. Again, Fabrizio coming out and saying that apparently Manchester United have informed Napoli that they are now both open to loan with an option or loan with obligation to buy for Rasmus Hojlund. Now, the preference is for obligation. However, they are leaving that up to Napoli. It's interesting with this one because Rasmus Hojlund has insisted on an obligation because he wants to know his future. So he wants to know that if he does well at Napoli, he can stay there and go on and achieve the things with him. I think this makes sense for Rasmus. You know my thoughts. I don't think this guy should be leaving the club at all. I think we should be keeping him and Xerxes and keeping Xerxes as a backup 10. But unfortunately, this is the way it's going. But the thing that this does push is it is a player exit. And with a player exit comes the money that we save. That we save on wages. It also frees up a space in the squad. Wah, ha, 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 says Mateta. Nah, Mateta ain't going anywhere. Mateta, there will be no other Crystal Palace player leaving the squad. If Guehi goes to Liverpool and Eze goes to Arsenal, which is pretty much done, guys, don't even think about Palace players going to United. It's just not going to happen. Now, as I say, there has been the comments from Ruben Amorim, who has said, look, could quite easily, right, I see what you mean. So I thought I was talking about Mateta coming to United. Fair. There has been the comments from Ruben Amorim where he has said that he does see a world where Rasmus stays and fights for his place. And I don't think that's a bad thing to be saying. I don't think that's a bad thing to be saying as a manager at all. You want that, don't you? You absolutely want that. But one thing is for certain, I fully expect Rasmus Hojlund to be gone in the next 4 or 5 days. I think this will ramp up, and I think we will see our first player exit since Marcus Rashford. And again, for me, it's sad. It does make me feel a little sad. It makes me feel sad that I think that we have a lad here who does desperately want to play for Manchester United and desperately wants to do well for the squad, for the club, but unfortunately he has had his time and it is now over for him. Kev says Crystal Palace on Channel 5 UK, if anyone looking for some footage, just scored. Stop taking my bloody viewers away, Kev. I thought we were bros. Isaac says, hi Dan, not related to the current topic, but think it's a really interesting debate. Who has the 5th best squad in the league? I would say it's between Nottingham Forest, Villa, Newcastle, United, and Spurs, and possibly Brighton. Well, I mean, I think United at the moment, I would put the kind of the same between 5th and 8th. I'd say the same as Anthony. I think if United were to sign a goalkeeper and a midfielder, well, then I think you could solidify them as sort of maybe 6th. But at the moment, there's an argument for 6th, 7th, or possibly 8th. But it's a good question. It's a good question. Now, there is news that has broke today, and it is about Stiller. I know that Moxie Shum will be very happy about this. Apparently, Manchester United are looking at other midfielders. Now, I said yesterday it had gone quiet, and it would rely heavily on player sales. But Ben Jacobs has actually come out and said that one of the midfielders on Manchester United's list of options is Stuttgart's Angelo Stiller. Now, there's no guarantee on anything developing or that the midfielder arrives, but internal discussions apparently are taking place over different targets. Stiller has come up in discussions with United now deciding whether to sign another midfielder before the window shuts. I'm going to be honest. I've said this several times. Manchester United, I feel like, are absolutely looking at the fact that Baleba could come next summer. I think United have to get their thinking cap on here and remember that next season, Baleba won't go to United because United would have to get Champions League football for me, and they would still have to spend a big part of their wage bracket on him. Their transfer bracket. So I think with Stiller, he's 24, has had a few injury issues. I know Real Madrid were looking at him at one point, but I think Manchester United could quite easily go and do this. I honestly think Manchester United could go on and do this. I know there are a few of you that want Stiller. Now, the problem for me, I will say, is Stiller would come in, I think, challenging the Bruno Fernandes position there. Because I think Manchester United, and more importantly, Ruben Amorim, is set now on Casemiro and Ugarte doing that. Now, my question again to you guys, If Stiller comes in, does that ruin the development of Kobe Mainoo? And again, will that shut the door on Kobe Mainoo for this season, having the chance to go on and do something in a Ruben Amorim squad? Kev, you got your wife's dress on again. I'm watching both. I'm a multitasking male. Danielle, Mrs. Robinson's at the side of me and thought that I put the camera on her. I would never do that. Never, ever, ever, ever. Would I, my love? Eh? Yeah, she's busy. She's busy. Bless her. There you go. You saw the back of Mrs. Robinson for once. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. The camera's here, Mrs. Robinson, honestly. Anyway. So, what else have we got here? Sorry, I've got sidetracked there. Giles says, I'm surprised Palace is not leading by one. I don't care about Palace. This is a Manchester United bloody channel. Palace. Any of the teams Isaac mentioned, really, all of the same boat. The teams could be good, could be bad, or anything in between. Well, it's interesting because Newcastle now have gone for Stride Larson from Wolves. That ain't a signing for Newcastle. I don't see that bloke as a striker that can go on and get this team into Champions League and do anything in the Champions League. I said to you so many times that Newcastle will get to a point where they would have to panic buy. If this isn't panic buying, I don't know what is. Kev says you're pushing it, and It's Me Everest says, Dan, you are so cheeky. Isaac says, Dan, I reckon you're going to be in trouble with Mrs. Robinson. Are you hearing this, Mrs. Robinson? Why do I sound like a robot?
You are going to get in trouble.
Getting bantered by Mrs. Robinson. Look at her.
Will you stop at the car?
Wahaha says Strand Larson isn't that bad, to be fair. No, he's not that bad, Wahaha. I agree that, but when you look at where Newcastle is trying to get to, they're trying to take that next step. When they're trying to take that next step, I don't see Strand Larson as the guy that does it. I see him as a stopgap, or maybe one of two strikers they bring in. It depends on if they bring someone else in. Oh, that was so good. And Lumen, you're completely right. How could a defending midfielder take place in an attacking midfielder? I just don't think that Ruben Amorim fancies Mainoo at the moment, which is why I think that you would see Stiller come in and be that. Stiller will play alongside Bruno in games, of course he will, but I think he will see him as that position on the 8 to do both. That's for me. But look, at the same time, I could be wrong. Don't do it for the third time, or you may actually get caught. I know someone else with a divorce incoming, says Kev. And obviously Newcastle now are trying to patch up whatever they can. Newcastle need to do so much work. They really do. And they've got, a week and a half to do it. Manchester United, though, and again, interestingly from Ben Jacobs, I will dispel a lot of bad news to you. Not dispel, I'll give you a lot of bad news. Anybody who is hoping for Adam Wharton, Ben Jacobs has absolutely quashed it today. He said Wharton is a dream target for United. However, Eze's departure may mean the door might be shut for Wharton. It's true there's an appreciation for Morten Hjulmand, but they haven't made a bid yet, and I don't expect that to happen, eh? During discussions between United and Chelsea regarding Garnacho, and this is interesting, apparently Manchester United have mentioned Andre Santos. Now, United appreciate him, however, Chelsea don't want to sell. I'm going to be honest with you. If Manchester United did a swap deal for Garnacho and brought Andre Santos in, I think that would be very, very, very good business. I'd be stunned if we did it, but I'd be very, very happy with that. Ben Jacobs also went on to say, I'm not sure there's a great deal developing. Agrome is available for 25 million to 30. I'm certainly not under the impression at this stage, anyway, that anything is particularly advanced. However, and this is the interesting thing, he says, there's 10 days left of the window and it can go from 0 to 100 very quickly. And I think we need to remember that. There have been moments over the last couple of days where realism has absolutely kicked us in the balls. It has. We've gone from the super excitement to, where are you off to? I'm pecking her head. Letting her use my laptop for work and I'm pecking her head. Unbelievable. We've seen it in the last couple of days that we have that realism that we need to sell players. And I'm shouting down her ear roll. I think now Manchester United look at it and go, we need to get an extra midfielder in. And I think what we've seen as well from so many different reports is that Ruben Amorim has been very vocal, apparently, within the Manchester United boardroom that he wants a midfielder. I think he could get by without a goalkeeper, the feeling is, but a midfielder is quintessential. And I think that's what he needs, and that is what he's pushing for. The other news as well with that, apparently, and this again is something that I think we need to keep our eyes on, is that despite things being very quiet at Old Trafford, I'm told United are still active and will be right up until deadline day. And I've got to say that that is a key part of that sentence, right up until deadline day. You know how I keep saying Manchester United have a silly transfer left in them? I think it's still there. Let's go through some more of these comments. Are we getting any more players or what, United? Kev, keep the faith. I know we kind of dispelled it a little bit last night, but there has been more rumours. Billy says, hi, Dan, say hello to your wife and wish her the best, and to you, buddy. Yeah, I hope you're well. Thank you. She's buggered off in there. Absolutely infuriating. Didn't like Mainu not getting minutes. A bit worried if someone offers a big chunk of change. I think they may sell to fund others, as the Stains don't seem to be shifting. I don't think Mainu will go in this transfer window. I think if Mainu's going to go, I think it's going to be a big 12 months for him. And I think at this part of his career, if he doesn't start getting the football that he needs to help his development, I think at the end of the season, we will be having another conversation, and maybe an uncomfortable one about Mainu, because it's bizarre. The Manchester United fan base want this player to play, but at the moment, it just doesn't feel like Ruben Amorim trusts him. It genuinely doesn't feel like that he trusts him. I am in deep shit because Mrs. Robinson's now watching the playback and is going to see the video of her back. Kev, I'm going to need to sleep on your sofa tonight, mate. Andy says, as we keep saying, Dan, but Bruno is a problem. He's a luxury player. Bruno could potentially be the biggest issue that Manchester United have this season. We want him to do well in this formation. However, I still have fears that this guy could end up costing us a few games. Ben Jacobs called out Sancho for being deluded, hoping for a top 10 club in Europe to come for him. Ben Jacobs has been brilliant this summer. Honestly, I've loved everything Ben Jacobs has been saying. He's called it out for what it is, and I think it should be commended. Lumen says, Dan, from your salt pepper looks like you surely loved from your salt pepper. What? Looks like you surely love the 90s games where all the clubs would love to have a play breaker like, oh, yeah, of course. I mean, football's built different nowadays, isn't it? Back then, footballers were footballers. Not anymore, though, is it? I agree with you on Strand Larsen, Dan. He's so wasteful in front of goal, misses so many great chances and around the 6-yard box every time I've watched him. I feel like Newcastle United fans will absolutely big this up as a great signing. They will be doing the streams. We've got Strand Larsen. I guarantee, and I mean this, I guarantee if you'd have gone to any Newcastle United fan at the start of the window and said, Strand Larsen, what do you reckon? They'd have said, absolutely not. Absolutely not. We don't want that. Look at my hair, by the way. They'd have been absolutely telling us no chance. We're gonna have to get ready for this, because they're going to be championing him like he's the Messiah. One of you is sleeping on my sofa tonight, probably me, mate. Dan will be thrown out that window next, and Stream will go off in a minute. She'll pull the plug on your router. She definitely won't. It's not about trust; it's about favouring his fellow Portuguese players, Bruno and Dalot. Amad and Mainu will pay the price for that. I don't think Mainu will. I don't think Amad will, Lumen. I think he's kind of looked at the start of the game where Dalot started on Sunday and thought, you know what, Amad will be the guy going forward. I personally didn't have a problem with him starting Dalot, because I didn't think Amad was that great in pre-season. I thought he was kind of average at best. Needed that. Wahaha says, first time I saw Strand Larsen, I thought he was crap, but then he grew on me. He's all right, isn't he? He's all right. I mean, hang on. I'm not going to do his stats. That's for a Newcastle channel. Andy says, if we hammer Fulham Sunday, you watch, we won't be buying anyone. I think the old Manchester United would have done that. I genuinely think the old regime would have done that. We've seen it before, haven't we? Where we've had a run of results, 5 or 6, and everything's been forgotten, and then it gets kiboshed with the other transfers we're looking at. However, I will say this. I think this isn't just Amorim that wants the players in. I think you've got Barada who wants the players in. I think you've also got Wilcox who wants the players in, and Vivell. So I was very miserable last night, and I apologise. I was very miserable on stream last night. But I do wake up this morning with a sense of if we can get some players out the club, I think we might see some players come in. It won't be many, maybe one, maybe two. Kev, run round and sing Mrs. Robinson outside, see if it gets... No, he's gone. He's gone. She's gone, sorry. Report yourself for copyright so she can't see it. What do we... Right, so who do we want our last signing to be if we can only have one? Kev makes a very good point there. If we can only have one signing, who do we want? It's going to be a midfielder for me. The problem is, yeah, but look, Kev, I agree. Baleba would be mint, but we're not getting Baleba. I think if I could get any midfielder, I'm still going with Agrome. I think Agrome. I mean, Stiller as well. Stiller or Agrome would be my signing I'd want. I think that's a reasonable request, to be fair. Anthony says Baleba as well. Billy says, Dan, what do you think of Mark Goldbridge's announcement on the Bundesliga on his channel? Look, I'm going to say something about Goldbridge. You know my thoughts on him. I'm not his biggest fan. But what I will say is that guy has done extremely well. He has. That's football. You know, they've got the Bundesliga rights. My issue has always been the same with Goldbridge, right? This is I've never met the guy. I'm sure he's all right face to face. But he said something on a stream that rang true with me, and I thought, who do you think you are? It was when he said, oh, you know, there's plenty of channels that have copied what we are doing. Look at them. They're copycats. They're this, they're that. And that really annoyed me because I thought what you should be doing, Mark Goldbridge, is inspiring. You should be, because I watched Goldbridge when he had sort of, 200,000 followers, probably less than that. And I liked him. And I watched him grow and grow and grow. But you can't grow and grow and grow and then all of a sudden say, well, you know what, everybody else is trying to copy. No, you inspire people. That's what you do. That's the way it should be. But yeah, it's me. And yes, make sure you're hydrating as well. Everyone drink water and stay hydrated. Isaac says, this is exactly what I said would happen as well. Going for all these elite targets, taking big risks, and it didn't pay off. When they could have stuck to their previous strategy, which was working well. Newcastle have had a mare this summer. They have. Honestly, they've had an absolute mare. Strand Larsen, it epitomises panic buy for me. Now, the thing that I will say that really annoys me, really annoys me, is I'm having to, and again, it was this love-hate relationship with Goldbridge, but Goldbridge today on his stream, he's like, Arsenal showing us how it's done, Arsenal, they've gone out and got Eze. Mark, no, listen, they weren't going to buy Eze until Ugarte went and smashed Havertz. That has been done as quick as it has, because Tottenham were almost there. Arsenal needed him and went straight in and said, "We'll match whatever they want to pay." He's an Arsenal fan, in he comes. We can't sit here and say Arsenal now have completed how to do a transfer, because it took them ages to get Gyökeres. So I don't take that on board at all. I do think the next 10 days, the transfer market is going to go absolutely bonkers. We are going to see transfers galore. I thought it would have ramped up about a week or two ago. Doesn't seem to have. But now, all of a sudden, Forest have done it. I think we're seeing a lot more people going out there and trying to find the players that they need. This is what I do. I'm sick of this players leaving whilst the season starts. If it was up to me, I would have it that the transfer window slammed shut the day before the football season started. I think that would be a better way of doing transfers. That way, it would push clubs to get all of their business done in pre-season. Imagine you had to get all of your transfers done by like the 10th of August. It would be so much better. I think it would help the managers of the clubs as well. That's what I personally think. I felt that for a while, though, to be fair. Mateus Fernandes is a quality player, to be fair. Absolutely quality player. And hello, Chappie. Good to see you, mate. I haven't seen you. I thought you'd missed us. Ex-copper with a fake name, says Ben McLean. Yeah, I know. Never watched him, Dan. Dan is really the only United channel I can really listen to. I appreciate that. That's why I love you. Wahaha. That's why I love you. Look at this. Hey, look at this guy. Strand Larsen definitely has the potential, but Newcastle need a striker for the here and now. Newcastle at the moment need two strikers. Okay, United are okay up there, but Newcastle definitely do. It's me, Everest has said, United fan base has three groups: Goldbridge followers, United View followers, and rants. all loathe each other. I'm glad I watch none and enjoy being here. Look at that. There's so much love here tonight. I really appreciate it. Can argue what he's achieved. It's a decent show. I don't agree with everything he says, and it's a bit over the top sometimes, but good for info while waiting for Dan United to start. I love that. I absolutely love that. I do watch Goldbridge too, as you know, but I do find him overly critical. Agree with that. So Andy says, do you think Bruno and Casemiro could be sold in the new year? No, I don't, Andy. I don't. I think because Casemiro is going to go on a free transfer at the end of the summer, end of the transfer window, sorry, in the end of the season. Casemiro will be gone. Bruno, if he's going to go, I think it would be at the end of the season. It wouldn't surprise me. And what would that take him to? What year did he sign? Was it 2019 or was it 2020? Bruno Fernandes. I'm sure it was 2000. Might have been 2018, actually. No, it's 20. It was 20. Yeah, joined on 29th of January 2020. So he's not even been here 5.5 years he's been here. So I think if we kept him until the end of next season, the problem is Manchester United are never going to get 100 million for Bruno again. By the end of next season, he'll be a year older. It wouldn't surprise me if it was like a 50, 60 million bid. But I think we will see in the next 12 months, a lot of the old guard will start to vanish. I do think so. For me, in the order of the teams listed earlier, right now, I would say Villa, Newcastle, United, Nottingham Forest, Spurs, and Brighton. Oof, yikes. Pondered it for a while, but that's my order currently. Casemiro will leave on a free and go home to retire. Maybe Bruno will go to Saudi for maybe 80th, but lucky, I don't know. I don't think we'd get that much. And I look. There's always going to be criticism on these fan channels. I've done it about Ugarte. However, I give myself a slap across the face yesterday, and I thought, look, if we're sticking with Ugarte for the season, then we're going to have to back him. It's going to be a long old season this season, guys. And I will say this, there are going to be some highs and there are going to be some lows. The main thing about it is we have to stick together throughout the season because, trust me, it's going to be mental. There are some news about Onana that have come out now. Look, this is a news show, so obviously I'm going to tell you the news that's been out there. And it's basic. If Manchester United are going to sign a goalkeeper, it depends on Andre Onana leaving. There are some people at United that think they need to get a new goalkeeper. As Laurie Whitwell finishes that, he says, that's quite obvious, to be honest, and it is. When they say that there's a few people, there's some people at United who think they need to go out there and get a goalkeeper, I can guarantee there's only two people that don't think Manchester United need to go and get a goalkeeper. One's Onana and one's his agent. They're the only two people at Old Trafford for me. Because who else is honestly sitting there going, he's all right, he's all right. We all know that he's he's highly thought of because he's a nice bloke. But we don't want to see that. We don't want to hear that. We want winners. We want people who are going to come and do whatever it takes to win. Now, there are reports that Inter Milan apparently want to re-sign Andre Onana. He is available for 30 million this summer as United seek to avoid making a loss on his book value. United trying to honestly, we signed this keeper for ridiculous money. I think it'd be poetic if Inter did us the decency in taking this guy back. Honestly, I genuinely do. But how would we feel about that? How would we feel? Because we know that the only way a goalkeeper is going to come to Old Trafford now is if we get rid of a goalkeeper. There are some reports saying if Binder goes, then maybe we'll bring one in. And here's the logic I find with it. I would much rather, and I don't... Right, so here's where I sit with it. I would much rather us at this point, let me finish with this, don't jump down my throats. I'd sell Binder and keep Onana. I would sell Binder. I bring in Le Mans, and as Andy has said here, we definitely need a keeper because Onana will be at the African Cup of Nations in January. Right, here we go. This is where I'm going to land with it. Manchester United sign a goalkeeper, Le Mans, who is 23. We stick with Onana unless he makes absolutely horrific mistakes, and I mean horrific mistakes. and we keep him. We keep Onana, get rid of him in January when he goes to Africa combinations, and we get Le Mans in there. I think that's what Manchester United should do. I think that's where Manchester United should look at focusing to get the keeper situation sorted, because we know that Binder at the moment is the only person, don't we? We know that Binder, I think, is the most likely to leave the club. I don't think he's done well at all. If anything, I think Binder has been absolutely abysmal. And when you look at Manchester United goalkeepers in the past, the number 2 goalkeepers that we've had, he goes down for me as one of the worst number 2 goalkeepers. Do you know, Anthony says it, put Slabhead in goal. There was a rallying cry last night to get Slabhead as number 16 and have him as the CDM. We were joking, of course, but I've got to put it to you guys. Would you rather? In fact, we'll do a poll. Let's do a poll. We haven't done one yet, have we? Let me get it up. As an actress said to a bishop. Right, let me get this up. So, who would you sell? Okay, nice and simple. Onana, Binder. You have to be careful how you spell Binder. Who would you sell? Simple question. Onana or Binder? I think it has to be Binder for me. I think it has to be Binder for the same situation that I have just said. Sell Binder, bring in Le Mans for the money you get for Binder, because you'll get about 10 million. Just chuck a little bit on there. Keep hold of Onana. Let Onana do what Onana does best, which is make mistakes. Then bomb him out the team. Bring in Le Mans, and off you go. Away we go. Tell me that doesn't make sense. I think I've just sorted the goalkeeping situation at Manchester United. Yeah? Come on, look at me. Onana making absolute howlers is a given, says Gregory. I agree. But Binder is somehow Amarim's first choice. Nah, I don't think he is for now. I think that fucking moth's back. I don't think he is. I don't think he is. I think he was maybe making a statement. I still think he was trying to make a statement to the board that he wanted a new goalkeeper. And Anthony says, go on down, we love a poll. It's on there for you. How about rush goalie, says Andy. Come on, this isn't Power League, Andy. And Gregory says both. A lot of people saying, can we click both? Jesus Christ. Sell them both. Onana, because it means we have a new number 1. This guy here, this is my MD. Callum Watkins, MD at 30. This guy, P.S. I'm a United fan. He's not a United fan, so he's tried. Look at this. I'll dig you out. That is my director, yeah? With a cigar, having a cigar in his house. Unbelievable. He's an Arsenal fan. Give him stick. He can't. This guy couldn't even pronounce Gyökeres properly. I'm getting sacked in the morning. It makes sense, says Mark. If we sell Binder, Onana is still somehow in contention for the number 1 spot. I don't think it's like that, though. I think you have to look at it as Binder is definitely the one that we can get out of the club quicker. I don't think Inter Milan pay 30 million for Onana. We know the story that they laughed at the bid that we offered. They were never expecting that. It's me, Everest. He wouldn't even know who Eze is. I'm driving now, so if I don't reply, people, that's why I'm just ignoring you. Should be able to reply in about 15 minutes. Don't worry, we'll stay on for you, Isaac. Don't worry. Steve-O says, hi, Dan. Binder and Onana are as bad as each other, but Binder is better with penalties. Grasping at straws, I know. There's grasping at straws, Steve, and then there's grasping at straws, isn't there? I mean, Jesus Christ. I think that the way to do it is get rid of Binder, bring in Le Mans. Look, Manchester United are not going to sign Donnarumma. Manchester United are not going to sign Emi Martinez. Manchester United aren't going to sign Costa. So we have to think outside the box here. This box, we think outside it. And that's the only way we can do it. Mrs. Robinson sabotages Dan with moths, Callum Biz, then the BMW, honestly. I'm giving him stick, but he's a great bloke. One of my best mates, to be fair. Arsenal may struggle to hold that second spot without Havertz. That was meant to say, Giz, that BMW. Honestly, yeah. Well, yeah, Kev, don't get me in trouble here. Eva leaving is good. Potato. Yeah, completely agree. Let's have a look where the. Oh my goodness me. So at the moment, who would you sell? 72% of you are saying Onana. Right, so let's have this out right here, yeah? I've just sat here, I've given you a logical situation, and then you go and just throw me under the bus and go straight for Onana. It's a disgrace. It is a disgrace. I want some context, though. I want some context. I need context as to why you would sell Onana and keep being there. I want some context. And let's make sure we're getting those likes up, people. We're on 21. Let's get those likes up, please. I want to see that to 30. There's plenty of you in here that have definitely not hit the like button, so make sure you do so. Let's have a look. Ben, the BMW will be fine. This Frederick Stad, look at, I'm not going to say that. Callum, give Dan some extra cash because Mrs. Robinson will powerbomb him soon. I don't think she's seen it, to be fair. So I think we've lived to fight another day. And at least you had it clean, Dan. Kind of. It's a bit like asking, what you want, cut off, and then find out. Yeah, I agree. Who's that out there? I never thought that was you outside there. It's some bald bloke slapping his head. You see him? Honestly, this is like an episode of EastEnders walking past here. You get some right melts walking past here. Steve says, still can't believe how bad our goalies are at protecting their own space. Example, Biendes' flappy goal last week and Onana letting that goal in from a corner. This is the problem. Manchester United are absolutely screwed when it comes to the goalkeeping situation, which is why I think we need to look at bringing in somebody else that isn't going to cost the money, that we can take a punt at. Now, as I've said to you on several videos, and I spoke about Le Mans very early on in the transfer window, he's young enough to still be to develop into a really good top keeper. He's got fantastic stats considering where he plays. I think it would be a no-brainer, and I think the whole plan of just getting rid of being there and then utilising him to push Onana out would work so much easier. It was a choice between and R, so we chose. Have we not got a youth goalkeeper anywhere? Probably would be better. Well, we have got a youth goalkeeper, Eli Harrison, who's gone on loan to Shrewsbury Town, actually down the road from us, Kev, but he isn't getting. I don't think he's getting game time. And Chappie says, like and subscribe, please. It's free to do. Yes, make sure you do. I need you to do it. To be fair, we've had a great window, says Peachy. Good to see you, Peachy, as well. Have we ever brought a keeper through the youth system, actually? I mean, Dean Henderson, you could technically say. Heaton was a youth prospect, but Heaton went out, didn't he? He went out and sort of did his career elsewhere. I'd probably say that Henderson's probably the closest we have on that. I do think he's probably the closest. De Gea would still be here if it wasn't for the fraud, Eric Ten Hag. Yeah, you got it. I saw. Do you know what? Bless their hearts, and I don't mean that in a positive way because the Sun are just horrible. But the Sun trying to drop a story the other day, on Sunday, De Gea back to United. It's like who writes this waffle? Who writes this absolute waffle, and who gets it agreed? Nonsense. Gregory says, I knew Onana was not good enough since he allowed 3 goals by Arsenal to cost United a match in October shortly after his arrival. Gregory, for me, I thought the game that I looked at Onana and went, this guy is absolute pesh, was the Forest game. If Isaac's still listening, he'll be able to attest to that. He was abysmal. We managed to claw it back and win 3-2, but he was absolutely abysmal in that game. Steve, 100% agree on the entire front three, and a window was not expected. He's only got XX, got the best years ahead of him. He's only XX. What's this? I don't know what that is. Is United trying to fix the squad based on positions? This time was the front, next time the mid, and afterwards the defence. And Ben Amos was one, but never really made it at United. Vitek hasn't gone anywhere, though. Vitek has, but he hasn't. So Vitek's out on loan, isn't he, to Bristol City? He's had a really good start to his time there. I think Manchester United, the longer we go into the window without getting a goalkeeper, the less chance. It is going to heavily rely on Manchester United getting rid of a goalkeeper. For us to bring one in, one is going to have to go out the door. If one doesn't go out of the door, then we may as well saddle up and get ready for a goalkeeping season where we know Biende is going to play at least 3 or 4 games in the Premier League, and we know that we are going to be stuck with Onana. Either way, guys, it's going to be a trashful season with goalkeepers. Obviously, we would absolutely love it if Onana this season plays out of his skin and we go at the end of it, Jesus Christ, what happened there? But I just don't see it. I don't see it. Hopefully Vitek has a good season and then steps up when he comes back. How old is Vitek? I want to say he's like 22. Let's have a look. 2000. Yeah, he's 22. He's 22 this year. What is he? 21 at the moment. So he's born in October. Let me just have a look a second. What's this here? Sorry, I get these bloody messages all the way through. What's this? Honestly, don't you hate it when staff message you late at night saying that they're not going to be going into work the next day potentially? It's like, anyway, regardless of that, that's nonsense stuff. Now there is a little bit of news. I don't know if this will get anybody excited, because to be honest, I'm so bored of hearing this guy's name that it just gets me angry. But apparently, it is the news show. We will do it. Jadon Sancho has reportedly never said no to Roma. Never said no to Roma. This guy, honestly, I kind of feel like his agent is literally doing his best to get this guy the ridiculous money that he wants. I honestly feel like if Sancho isn't gone by... Let's have a look. If Sancho isn't gone by the 31st, with the deadline day being the 1st, I don't think he leaves this season. Genuinely don't think he leaves. Gregory says, I hate United losing more than I enjoy United winning, which is why I really want a new keeper in and an Onana out. I see. Do you know what? I read that as if you enjoyed watching United lose then. No, I hear you. So the emotion that you have with United losing is we've got to come to terms with the fact that we are going to be keeping. If we can't sell one of these, there will be no other goalkeepers coming in. Now, look, again, deadline day is a crazy time. Maybe something happens, but I can't see it. I just can't see it. If we wanted Le Mans, if we really wanted him, we'd have gone out and got that done weeks ago. The guy's available for 15 million. I think we go back to the whole situation where United, Moth. United don't want to be in a situation where on the goalkeeping books they have Onana, Binder, a new goalkeeper, Le Mans, and Heaton. They don't want to be in that situation. Matthew Ryan, good to see you. Hope you're well. Says, hi, I'm an Arsenal fan. I thought United played good against us. Thank you, Matthew. I appreciate that. So many Arsenal fans, man. There was one in particular, Potsy was like, oh, it's the most boring game. I don't think Arsenal played well, and I don't think United played well. I was like, oh, God. But anyway, enough of that. I'm not going to badmouth Potsy, of course. But Kev says, the fact that Amorim said Binder trade better makes me think there has been no improvement in Onana in the close season. Yeah, but there wouldn't be, would there? Because he's been injured. He got a hamstring injury straight as they were coming back into pre-season. So he's going to have trained better, isn't he? Kev, shock he can't save. And I remain upset longer than I stay happy about our club's performance. Yeah, it does take time to go over the United loss. However, it's weird, isn't it? Because on Sunday we kind of all said the same. We lost, but we were like, yeah, do you know what? We did all right, actually. If we can carry on that performance going into the weekend and we beat Fulham, it's a whole different scenario. In fact, do you know something? Let me just jump this. Let me get these comments. Ben says we need to force it rather than sit and wait to sell a goalkeeper. Bring one in now as number one. That would push Onana out as he won't stay and not play. I'd love to see us do that, but I think it's all money now. And Andy says Vitak has only let one goal in 3 games. That's phenomenal, that is, isn't it? Here's the thing now. I want to ask you guys, because we're on Thursday now. Manchester United play in 3 days. What are your score predictions at the moment for Manchester United against Fulham? Because I feel like if Sesko starts and he clicks straight away with Brian and Mbeumo and, of course, Cunha, and we see Bruno doing what Bruno can do best, I actually think United could go to Fulham and win 2 or 3. I genuinely do. I think he has to start Diallo. I think United go there, and I think they serve up a bit of a beating against Fulham. I do. I might sound ridiculous saying that. Big up, Z. Good to see you, mate. Do you think we signed a midfielder? Well, if you're new to the channel, if you've just tuned in, apparently Stiller is the one that Manchester United are looking at. We're looking at Angelo Stiller from Stuttgart. The guy wouldn't cost as much as a lot of the other midfielders we've been linked with. I think he would be a target we could go, and I think it's a deal we could do. It's again one of those situations where nobody's really looking at him, so we'll have to watch this space. Andy says 3-1 United. Anthony says 4-1. Ben says, I think we'll smash it 4-0. Mark says 3-1. Z says 2-0. So we're all in the same agreement. I think we score goals against Fulham. Let's have a quick look at Fulham's team, yo. Fulham, let me look at their lineup against, what do we do? Sky. Let's go Sky Sports News. Sky Sports News. Let's have a look at their lineup against, was it Brighton they played? Shut up, Bo. Shut up, Bo. You hear this? You finished? Honestly. Right, scores and fixtures. I'll bring this up so we can all see. Sunday. Was it Sunday they played or was it? No, it was Saturday, wasn't it? Saturday. Okay, so they played Brighton away. Let's have a look at the teams. Okay, let me bring this up a second. Let me share the screen. Kev says 3-0. Kev, if you guys don't know, Kev and I will be live streaming this together. We're going to be in Kev's studio because at the moment, well, I'll show you, we are in the stages of getting this, about to start getting it decorated. So watch this space. The channel is going to see a new setup. We're redecorating the room. Gregory says 2-1 United. Steve says, I want to see the same bloody progress against Fulham, Dan. We should beat them. We have to beat them. Otherwise, the proverbial is going to hit the fan. I love that saying, Steve-O. Would you play Ahmad or Dallo to give them a half each? I'd start Ahmad. I think Ahmad pulled his socks up and showed what he can do on Sunday. We're going to score, but this is going to be a keep a stupid moment, potentially. And Matthew Ryan says 3-1 Man United, I think. And my Wi-Fi will complete the match all in the same day. Kev, why are you doing me dirty like that? I thought you loved me. Honestly, this bromance is becoming a thing. Right, let me share the screen. Let's have a look at Fulham's lineup. So Fulham, why don't they do it with the actual bloody? Oh, it's annoying that. So let me just zoom in. So let's have a look. Let me bring that up. So it was Leno in goal, Tete, Anderson. Hang on a minute. I need to zoom that in for you because I bet you're all bloody trying to look it up on your phone. If you're looking at your phone. So Cuenca, I'm not even going to try that one. Ugly, Luma, Lukic, Sanderberg, Wilson, King, Iwobi, and Jimenez. That doesn't scare me. That doesn't scare me at all. Fulham have been a team that have been a bit of a bogey side over the last few years, and they had a decent season. However, what I will say about them is they didn't really go out there and they haven't bought massive players, haven't they? Haven't brought a lot of newbies into the squad. So I look at that team. Let me just have a look at the subs bench. So Muniz, I know Muniz come on and scored, didn't he? Tom Kearney, Traore, man, Castagna, and Emil Smith-Rowe. Emil Smith-Rowe, man, that kid should have had the keys to the kingdom. Do you want me to zoom in a bit more, Andy? I tell you what, Andy, you're one of the originals. Let me zoom in a bit more for you. Christ Almighty, that's it in my eyes now. Things you do for love. How about that, Andy? Andy, is that better for you, mate? So Leno in goal, Tete, Anderson, Cuenca, Ugaluma, Lucic, Berg, Wilson, King. Yeah, and do you know something? I've got to say it. Z, you're right. Z and I have had so many little conversations on Football's 12th Man where I've said something he doesn't agree with. He's said something I don't agree with, but I think we absolutely are in unison here. Manchester United should be rolling this team over. We should. I think the formation looked a bit better on Sunday, and for rival fans saying that we still looked shite, disagree with that. What else have we got here? The squad is so average. No Merry Christmas comments this weekend then. What? I love Kearney. Too bad he's got pace of Huddleston to make it. And there you go, Andy. See, I do that for you, Andy. That's what I do for my community. Ben says just not to give any silly free kicks. Wilson is very good at set pieces. Do you not think we can use this to our advantage? I think teams are going to look at Manchester United. If I'm Manchester United now, I tell you what I'm doing. We should have been doing it anyway. That frigging, honestly, moth. We should have been doing this anyway over the preseason. But I would be absolutely hammering it home to the players about dead ball. I would be in training, getting everybody to go in on being there so he gets used to just coming out and clattering. I would get him used to doing that. And I would make it so that teams think the way that they're going to get us is on dead ball situations, on corners. Do that, become stronger, and you're taking another situation that could hurt us out of the mix. Simple. I should just manage United. If we can avoid giving away corners, then a clean sheet. And yeah, there we go, Andy. Top man, you're the best. Of course, look, things I do for you. You're one of my guys. Isaac says he's back. Good. I hope you're well, Isaac. Hope you drove nice and steadily. And I want to see Xerxes. This is what I'm like when Wahaha says that. Xerxes? Where do you want to see Xerxes play? Just spat that all over there. Whoops. Where do you want to see Xerxes play? Can't be doing that. Can't be doing that. Dan, you think we can score 5 on Sunday? When was the last time? I'll tell you what, let's have a look. Let me stop sharing that. When was the last time in the league Man United scored 5? So long ago. When was the last time that Man United scored 5, guys? I've just got it. I've just Googled it. When was the last time United scored 5? Do it without Googling it. Don't cheat. Honestly, what's that poll saying at the moment before I shut it down? 76% of you said Onana. Hideous. 76%, man. Ugh. Ugh. Let me have a look at where we are on these likes as well, folks. 24 likes. Who's going to be number 25? Who's going to be number 25 in the league, people, in the league? Now, Xerxes is decent, to be fair. He's all right, but he's not a goal scorer, though. Z, honestly, my argument with Xerxes is we keep him and we play him as a 10. Use him as a backup 10. I don't think he's a striker. And yeah, I was listening. Onana was terrible every time he's played against us for you. Yeah, I agree. In the 9 with Brian and Cunha behind at least for half an hour. Well, Wahaha, I will say this. You will get, you probably get your wish, mate, because we don't see Rasmus there. He won't be in the team. Xerxes, that frigging moth. Xerxes will be back, honestly. Xerxes will be back, and I think we'll see Xerxes come on. I do think he will come on. And Ben, bingo, 6-2 against. No, yeah, was it 6-2 against Leeds? I think it was 6-2 in 2021, wasn't it? 2021. No, it was Leeds, but it wasn't the 6-2. It was 5-1. It was the first game of the season. Do you remember when Pogba got 4 assists? And we all sat there and we went, that's it. United are back. We've got our Manchester United back. We signed Ronaldo, sacked Ollie, brought in Ralph, sacked him, brought in Ten Hag, sacked him, and here's where we are. It wasn't Leon, no, but in recent times in European football it was. And yeah, I did see actually Z did go in there, probably Leeds at Old Trafford. There we go, Z. Well played, well played. Which transfer winger United has acquired been a bigger waste? Di Maria, Sancho, or Anthony? I think Sancho. I think Sancho. I think Sancho. I do. Sesko to start. Honestly, Sesko will score on Sunday. Believe you heard it here. Sesko will score on Sunday. He will. Sesko to start, a few goals, then Xerxes for the last 30 to hold up play and finish the game. You really don't like Xerxes, do you, Dan? I agree he's not a striker, but as a false 9-10, being involved in the build-up, bringing others into play is brilliant. It's not that I don't like him. Look, I do want to dispel this. It's not that I don't like Xerxes. I just don't see Xerxes as a number 9. And I would go as far to say, and I'll bring this comment back up, the false 9 doesn't work. It doesn't. I want to see a striker that's running at the defenders. I want to see a striker that's running into space. I want to see a striker that is in that 6-yard box, just there to mop up and clean it all up. Xerxes isn't that guy. Too many times last season with Xerxes playing it up top, we saw him arriving so late into the box. And I'd think, oh, come on, Josh, just get up there. It's not that I don't like him. I just don't think he's what Manchester United need, and that's me being honest. Ben says Sesko hat-trick. Oh, God, honestly. I tell you what, we'll do a giveaway if Sesko scores a hat trick. We'll do a giveaway. I tell you what, I do want to bring up actually. Let's bring this up. Let me bring this up. I think it'd be good for you guys to see this because some of you are definitely in it. Do that and my voice doesn't go high enough. Let me just get this up for you guys. Oh, Christ almighty. I hate it when they do the auto thing. Is it that? I don't know. Is it .com? I need to show you this. I'm in there. Right, let me share the screen. Where's the table? Absolutely, I've been absolutely mullered in this season, this competition. Dan United League, let's bring it up. Honestly, I'm disgusted with myself. Let me share that screen for you folks. Let me share it. So at the moment on the fantasy football, this is where the Dan United standings are at the moment. I'll have to zoom in again. With this. There we go. So at the top, my stepbrother with Stranger Mings. Jamie Harvey second. Giles in third. And text or email Heskey. Never FC, Never Mizamiri. Isaac is sixth. Carl is sixth as well. Then we've got Horbzo is eighth. Ben is ninth. Dan Wall's 10th. I'm 11th. I'm devastated. Jordan is 11th. Giniesta's 13th. We've got Jimmy on 14th. Mark on 15th. Subra's 15th as well. Then we've got Kev. Kev, man. Kev, you're in trouble, brother. He's in 17th with Hayden and Dave. And then we've got Siat on 20th. So that is the... Kev saying don't show it. Let me just bring it back to the top because my stepbrother will love that. Look who's top. He's had an absolutely amazing start, isn't he? But there you go, guys. That's the update. We'll do that. We'll have an update on that each week, I think. He's not a 9. He's not a 9 more to ping the ball to. He can hold it and feed the runs of Brian and Cunha. Anthony, I'm happy to be proven wrong. You know this. Yeah, I agree with you, Dan, on that. But there's also my point. He's often behind the attacking moves because he likes dropping deep and getting involved in the build-up. He's not a striker, though, is he? He's not a striker. I just think we need 2 strikers, 2 out and out. Sesko gets a hat-trick where you start to panic about our bet. Ben, I hope he does score the goals that you've said, mate. I would love nothing more than him to score those goals and do that. I really would love him to do it, but I still don't think he will. I think at United, he would be better in the 10 playing off a big striker like Sesko. Isaac, I can agree with that. Xerxes could absolutely work as a 10 with Sesko. Like and sub if you're enjoying the show. It helps the channel out a lot. Yes, make sure you do, people. Kev, it was too late. And where's Summer Holiday? There it is. K9 Plums. Kev, Jasper's just jumped in the. I don't know where he's gone, and he's happy with that. Never done it myself. I should do it really, but it seems complicated. It isn't that bad. Don't worry. Have a go. And that's what happens when you put Konza in defence. Konza absolutely destroyed my team this week. I think we've won the last 2 games at Fulham, 1-0. Let's have a look. I'll tell you what, we'll bring that up before we close the show. Let's have a look at our last few results against Fulham. Man United versus Fulham recent results. Let's bring that up. We lost against them in the FA Cup, didn't we, actually, last? Right. Okay. Let me just get rid of Arne's slots. For some reason he's on there. Right, I'll share this, guys. Let me share this. So this is United's last few results against Fulham. It's always good to bring this up, actually. Andy, I'll just zoom it in a bit more for you, buddy, as well. So let me just share that. This is United's last few results against Fulham. So we beat them 1-0 away. And then we beat them at home. Do you remember that was Xerxes' debut goal for United? Actually, that was. And then before that, we lost to them in the league 2-1. We've actually got a decent record against Fulham, haven't we? When you look at it on the back of it, 1, 2, Let me just see how many. Last 10 games, we've only lost once against him in the league in the last 10 games. I mean, that does date back to 2018 because they were relegated, but that only strengthens the fact that we should be going there and we should be beating them. We should be beating this team. I'm going to stop sharing that before I get done by copyright. We should be going out and beating Fulham. If anyone's picked Anana, honestly. Matthew says, do you do Super 6? I used to, but I got too angry doing it because I thought I'd be nowhere near it every week. Gregory says, unlike Anthony, and Isaac says, I think United will win that game comfortably. Think people will begin to take United seriously again after that game. Maybe a 3-1 or 4-1 United. Like I've said, before we finish up, United have to do something under Amorim they've not done yet. In the next 2 games, we have to go back-to-back and win. If we get back-to-back wins before we play Manchester City and Chelsea, then it puts us in a better position. And it gives us a bit of momentum going into those games. Manchester City have just come off the back of smashing Wolves, who have lost a lot of players, who are about to lose another player. Their test is against Spurs on Saturday, which I'll be watching with great anticipation. But that is where we are with that. Now, guys, other than that, it's been a great show tonight. Thank you for stopping by. Remember, we do this at the moment until 9 p.m. until Sunday. Sunday is the last time we'll be doing this show at 9 p.m. and then we're switching to 6:30 in the evenings. I think it'll be better for everybody else. But make sure if you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe on the way out, hit the bell. It will let you know when we are going live. Other than that, my beautiful people, Dan United, Brian Brigade, you bunch of legends. Oota!